Hello crafters, this is Yana Smakula. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am creating with Tina Smith Pie Perfection Collection from Spellbinders. A word of warning, grab yourself a snack because these dies will make you hungry and you'll be craving a piece of pie by the time you're done watching. Tina Smith has a new fabulous collection with Spellbinders and it is all about baking on paper. Tina herself is a baker, so it is only natural she designed yummy pie dies. I remember a quote, "Cooking is art, baking is science. When you bake, you have to follow the recipe to the letter." I personally wouldn't know, I don't really cook or bake, but I do enjoy crafting with paper, and this collection is a really adorable one that's perfect to try something out of the box and new. The collection features 8 products. There are 3 die sets to create different types of pies. My favorite die set is the one that I'm featuring in this video, the Sky View pies. It is a smaller set, but it is so versatile that you can really make any kind of pie using these dies. There's a die to make the crust, and it looks very realistic, and also several options to make the top of the pie, like a pie lettuce cover, marquee, and heart vent options. The best part, there's a die to die cut a slice, so you can have not just a whole pie, but die cut a slice out of it, and even die cut a bunch of slices for your card if you want. In addition, there's a separate die set called Dish It Up that features a set of utensils, a server, and an oval plate. The utensils and the server look amazing when die cut from metallic cardstock. This way, they look very realistic. You can use silver and gold metallic papers for these, or even rose gold. Now, Tina had some utensils on one of her cards that she die cut from gray and then ink blended them, and that looked realistic and fantastic as well. Next, there's the Delicious Decorations set, and that one features all sorts of little die cuts that can be used to decorate the cakes. So all the decorations that you see on my cakes, these come from the Delicious Decorations set. While this set can be skipped, and I'm talking about the sets that I would recommend purchasing from this collection, while this set can be skipped, we all have other similar small dies in our stash. What I adore in this die set, and the reason why I would recommend getting it, are the 2 dies to cut chocolate pieces. They are so clever, and when you cut the pieces from brown cardstock and when you dry emboss them in your die cutting machine, the pieces really do look like chocolate. You'll notice that almost all of my cards have little chocolates on them, and these were created using those dies. I found my paper pies looked better and a lot more mouth-watering when I ink blended the dough with brown ink. So I first die cut the pieces from craft cardstock and then I ink blended them. This way they looked baked, with some parts darker, even a little bit burned, because I'm sure I would lightly burn my first pie, or maybe not even lightly. Maybe I would completely burn my first pie. And then you have some pieces that are lighter when you do the ink blending. Now, to make the crust look dimensional and more realistic, I die cut identical crust piece from Fun Foam, and I stacked the 2 die cuts together. I also ink blended the white side of the Fun Foam to make it brown. If you have brown Fun Foam, you can just die cut it from brown and skip blending the Fun Foam. Now, I'm not going to show you how to assemble a simple pie, as that is pretty straightforward, but I do want to show you the best way to make a pie and a slice. Now, if you add many layers to your pie, and if you want to die cut a slice, I have found that it is best to do that before you glue all the components together. Here, I die cut the slice from the base and then from the crust piece, so I did the die cutting separately. I then added my final brown ink blending to the Fun Foam, and then adhered the crust onto my pie. This way, the crust wasn't flattened, it wasn't squished, and it remained nice and dimensional on my pie. Next, I added glue to the center of the pie, and I just used my finger to spread it around. I then added clear glitter to mimic sugar. Tina did that on some of her pies, and I love that idea. Now make sure you use clear glitter, as white glitter will not give you the same sugary look. I know because I tried. I used the glitter duster for precise glitter application, and this happens to be a very handy tool when working with glitter. Now, to add more dimension to my pie, I didn't want it to be flat, and you guys know me, I'm all about dimension on my cards. I die-cut a base from fun foam, and I adhered the pie onto the fun foam piece. It doesn't change the look of the pie on camera. You can't really see any difference, but when you see that pie in real life, you can see the dimension, and that gives a better overall impression, as if you really have a mini pie on your card. I dressed up this pie with a white flour. This isn't a specific flavor pie. It is just a paper pie with pink filling. And I also added some die-cut greenery. And as you can see, I have a few pink berry clusters. I added those as well. And I then used a white jelly roll pen and added a white highlight onto each berry. And that really helped to separate one berry from the other on the cluster. I have baked many paper pies and I decorated each differently. I varied colors of cardstock for the pie filling, and also I varied the types of decorations that I used on my pie. I love that this collection has a set of dies to create utensils. I don't have anything like that in my stash, so I think the utensils die set is a must-have. There's a fork, a knife, a spoon, a server, and a plate. So here's that plate piece. I die cut it from black cardstock, and it goes best not with this type of pie, but with a different type of paper pie. And this one was made using the Serve a Slice die set, also from this collection. And then this one was made using the Perfect Pies set. So there are 3 different types of pie dies, and you can see how everything goes together in the different kinds of pies that you can make. So here are the utensils. I cut them from Marigold cardstock, and to add sturdiness, I also die cut another set from white cardstock and I stuck them together using glue. This made them a little thicker and a little bit more sturdier for my card. Now, I wanted to serve this pie on a plate. I wanted to add something more to my card. I didn't want to add just a pie onto the background. I did not want to use the oval plate as it didn't really fit here, so I looked for something different. Now, another set in this collection is one to make a box for a pie, and it is called the Baker's Box. I didn't exactly use this die set, but I did use one die from there. So one of the pieces from that set is a square with rounded corners. That reminded me of a fancy-looking square plate. I die cut one from gold mirror cardstock, and here I have a very cool gold square plate for my pie. You can cut your plate from white, I did that in the end, or any other color of cardstock, as plates do come in so many different colors. And you can even use pattern paper for a plate because there are oftentimes various pattern plates out there. I made a bunch of paper pies. This collection is very addictive, and once you start baking using these dies, you simply cannot stop. You'll want to try every single pie combination there is. To create the cards using these pies, I went with this simple recipe. I embossed the background using Spellbinder's embossing folder, different designs of embossing folders, and the Barely Peach cardstock from Spellbinders. I really love how subtle this color is, and this gave me a very pretty backdrop for my pies. Next, I added the die-cut plate on top. To add realism to the plate, I shaped the plate die cut with my fingers, lifting the plate corners up, the same as in a real plate. I only added glue to the center of the plate die cut, allowing the corners to sort of float in the air. I also used glue to adhere my pie in the center of the plate, and then added the server with a pie slice next to it. Now, I also adhered the knife and the fork overlapping the pie, and I decorated that with another die-cut flower and leaf. I added some more additional die cuts, some chocolate pieces, of course, and then more berries. And I heat embossed, sending sweet birthday wishes sentiment for this particular card, which comes from a stamp set that is also a part of this collection. And by the way, that stamp set is a must-have because the sentiments in there are simply amazing. You have sentiments like, I only have pies for you, you deserve the best, and more. I hope you feel inspired to create. If you make a card inspired by this video, I love it if you shared your project online and tagged me on social media. I always enjoy seeing what you make. Thank you for joining me today. Love you guys. Thank you again so much for your support, and I'll see you next time.